Ready?
Did you make that up?
Tammy doesn't have some.
Are you
Do I-
ready?
can I get one?
Yes, sir, sorry.
One of those long sheets?
Hey,
We're not going to review.
Oh,
Oh, we're not going to, okay.
We're not ready for review yet,
we're gonna call the
I
meeting
asked-
over. You ready, Tim, one more time?
really. Yes, Your Honor.
He knows he wants me to say that. We're gonna call the meeting over. Mr. Wolf had other plans today, he couldn't make it. We're gonna call the workshop, the LDC workshop to order. And I'm gonna turn it over to Chris Pruitt.
Thank you.
We'll go through what the agenda said. We'll have the public comments, and we've got Craig and Laura here, so we can answer some questions.
Absolutely. So I'll cover the same stuff that I covered last time. This is just the second workshop. The purpose of this workshop is to provide residents and business owners with an opportunity to make suggestions for changes to the Land Development Code, or LDC. No decisions are going to be made at this workshop. This is the last public workshop. The next step will be me condensing the list that we create, all of the topics brought up and suggestions made, and then presenting that to the City Council at the January 14th meeting. At that meeting, that's when they'll make the decision on how to proceed. That could be something anywhere between picking items to address immediately to referring it to or creating a citizens committee to go over and prioritize, or anything in between. But like I said, that'll happen at the January 14th meeting. I do ask that you please keep your comments limited to the purpose of this meeting, which is just providing suggestions for the LDC. Also, if you've previously made a comment, it isn't necessary to make it again. No extra points are given for how many times you bring it up or how many other people second your comment. In fact, it makes a little extra work because I'm trying to record everything on here. And then after these meetings, I'm going to go through and remove all those duplicates and everything else. I do guarantee that every suggestion made is going to end up on the list that we present to the City Council. That's it for my spiel. So I think we can go ahead and open it up to any new suggestions for the LDC.
Lisa?
I've
Calling
said
you out.
I've said everything already, Jerry. I appreciate
Let's go ahead.
appreciate the opportunity.
Well, you just made my job really easy.
Well, are y'all sure you're through now? One more time. I mean, maybe 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Can I make one comment?
When it comes your time to the items, you can. But
I
right
just-
now, I'd like for them.
Certainly, go ahead.
Okay, so we're gonna close public comments. Everybody smiling, okay? We're gonna close, now to come to the table. If you're back, you first.
I just want to let the citizens know that city administrator has posted the items he has on the city's website. They're not entirely organized yet, so they're not ready for, it's not what's going to be presented to the council. But if you want to see what's been collected, and I say that so that if you think your comments have been left off or not captured correctly, please let Chris know before the next council meeting. Thank you.
And that is, if you go to our main page under government down to Administrator's Weekly Update. That's where those are listed.
Jason, I know you got something.
No, sir. I'm just, I'm waiting to, obviously, we're gonna compile this master list, and then I think we can really start looking at all the items. I mean, there's a lot of duplicates.
Absolutely.
And the list to come out, we can, the council and the citizens can review it before it comes out, maybe give us plenty of time.
Absolutely. Give me
And if what,
till the end of the week and I'll get this cleaned up and out there.
I mean, I don't, what time?
I had presented my issues already previously.
What is we gonna do, play Mary tic-tac-toe? Somebody got to do something, I ain't been here 4 minutes.
Does Brad have anything? Did you?
How are you, Greg and Laura, y'all like to say something? Or- I'm sorry, y'all, that was key. You like to say something, Greg, please?
So we're transitioning to, so after this meeting, so after the public comments, that's it for taking the input, right? So we've got everything that we need.
Correct.
So what I would like to suggest, just to the table, I've heard 2 different things. One is, we're gonna have a committee and ones we're not. And one is, we're gonna go piecemeal by this list, or we're gonna go section by section through the LDR. Let me say this, I'm very excited to see this happen because it'll make my job and Kathy's job a lot easier once we clean these things up. I think it'll smooth our process out a lot and prevent some of the discrepancies that come. The less interpretation that has to happen, the better off we all are, right? Because people interpret things differently. So what I'd like to encourage us to do is, no matter with a committee, without a committee, however we do it, to me, the template has already been well made when we did dadgummit, I'm losing a word. The comprehensive plan study. They went chapter by chapter, item by item, and I think that's how we need to do this because it lends itself to a congruent document, a cohesive document at the end. If we piecemeal it, the only concern I have is we'll end up right back here in 5 years. If you change this domino, it affects all the other dominoes. You may not see it right now, but it will come up again. So if we go through it section by section, not only does it structure and organize our committee's work, but it will also make sure that if we change something in section 1, we know that it affects something in section 5. And we can address that then, rather than coming back here in 5 years and saying, well, we changed this in 24, but we didn't realize it affected that. So that's what I'm Other than that, I think, I'm like Lisa, the stuff I turned in was pretty much the stuff we've collected thus far. So that's it.
Laura? I know you don't want to.
No, I'm glad Greg mentioned what he just did. Being the one that has worked with this document, I do agree it's hard to piecemeal something like this because it is so interrelated, not only with itself but with the comprehensive plan. So it's really hard for me as an author of these documents to look at just one section of it without seeing where else it applies and what else it applies to and how it affects that other regulation or that other citation over here. So the piecemealing part is challenging because then if we do it that way, when we come out the other end, we're going to find where something's not meshing. So that's a comment I would just present to you also.
And I think I've expressed my feelings on that too. I mean, we need to go through the entire book. I mean, you know, it's good to have all these, so when we're getting to those points, we hit them. But I will say again,
My main concern is prioritizing what needs to be done first, and let's get these conflicts, like he said, that we need to get them knocked out as quickly as possible, for me.
What I can do with this list, we know which comments came from EPCI, which came from Laura, which came from our staff. I can indicate that in that list so that we know.
We've got to get started at somewhere.
I really don't think it's gonna, once we get in it, it shouldn't take, even to go through it. I mean, it's not like there's a ton. I mean, I just think it'd be wise on our parts to go ahead and just read the pages, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I've read, you know.
Well, Chris, could you take the input and organize it by chapter of the LDC? So it's chapter 1, this comment applies to that, maybe it applies to 2 sections, and try and organize it that way. And that way, as we go through, if we go through that way, then we'll have that input. That makes sense to me, what Greg is suggesting.
Well, and so the items we've collected are definitely important that we have that information. Those are the red flag items, but there'll be more. And like Laura said, and what we all, you know, I'm gonna reiterate that. As we go through, there'll be many pages that you go over, like Jesse, that you're not gonna change anything. Okay, that's fine for now, that's fine. But by having done that, when we get on into the document, and we say, we need to change this, wait a minute. Now, if we change, I remember we read in section 2 that that's a conflict. We need to go back and, you know what I mean? So those will definitely be prioritized flagged items. I just think that as we do it, like Tim said, I just think that'll make a better document at the end. We'll waste less time.
And you have a case in point. Just last meeting, we heard the request to change the setbacks, and there's setbacks described in section 2, and there's setbacks described in section 3, and there's setbacks described in section 6, article 6. So if we only looked at section 2, then we're gonna have inconsistencies with section 3 and section 6.
And Greg and Laura, would it be helpful for us if, when Chris gets this organized, to send it to you to take a look and see if we missed something about the organization of it or items?
I'm definitely going to look at it, but no, I'm very confident that it'll be, you know,
I'm just thinking, Chris is doing a great job, but he's only been here a few months. And so your expertise on what something might apply to the different sections would probably be helpful for Chris, is what I'm thinking.
Sure. That'd be my pleasure. We can do that.
So we're going to, at the council meeting, we're gonna make a decision on where we're gonna go.
That's correct, Chris, that's
Correct.
what,
So
but
that,
we have to get feedback from either.
Yeah, we're gonna get all that, but the meeting, we're gonna make it, so next meeting, we're making a decision, we're
Correct.
moving forward.
correct. And that decision will be based on the
I
number
wouldn't
of the
guarantee
types.
it, but I say we don't. Anything could happen.
This is Mexico Beach.
Yes, it is. Release some big in the drink. You got something else? I ain't rushing, but
No, you're on.
Ms. Hamilton, you
No,
good?
nothing.
Julie,
No, sir, I'm good, thank you.
Ms. Branson,
I'm good, thank you.
with better no comment.
We got our-
Adjourn.
Jerry, can I just give y'all a historical note?
Historical.
Yes, a historical note.
This is not 2025. I think we can handle that today. Yes. 2025.
Let me just tell you that in my research, the last comprehensive review of the LDR was in 2008 and 9.
Yes.
So as soon as we had finished the comprehensive plan in 17, 18, we finished it in mid-18, and we're about to launch into the comprehensive review of the LDR when Michael hit. So the entire document has not been looked at in one fell swoop since 2008, 9.
Thank you. That's a good point. Everybody was glad that is true. All right. Y'all through? You through, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Motion for adjournment.
Second.
I'll make a motion.
Second.